See how big this rose bush is. Actually, we get red and pink ones on this side. Let's see how I get round. Here we have hibiscus now with the flowers. But I've seen like even different colors when I go to Nairobi. We have pink and red. Pink and red. I think we have pink. I can't see. Here, so this is the entry of Mama's house. We had these birds. They came and they built something up here. So we never really mess with it. Yeah, you know those birds that in China they say actually that they bring good luck or something, I don't know. So yeah, I guess they're the ones, and that's their home. They come see. Our home is here since I was 10 years. We bought the land when I was 9, and what happened? The first house to be built was actually here. No, this was not there. All this veranda was not here. It was the living room. This was basically what was here, the living room and the 2 rooms that are in the sitting room. This is the living room basically, and then there was a kitchen there. So I'm not doing any tour for the house. I'm just showing you the basic first start that was built in the house. Then this used to be my bedroom at first, and the other one used to be Mom's room at first. Then they made. This is how big the trees are at home. Okay, actually the tallest trees, these trees were planted here when I was around 10. Mama's even been cutting some out and replanting plenty also. Yeah, but we do have some really tall stuff here. Our home is very green most of the time and very windy. So this is the processing of making a charcoal. We have our logs here. Actually, these were the roots of trees, and the remainder of the last logs that didn't burn well. Yeah. So they've lightened it from down. Yeah. So the long poles are for pegs. Apparently, they're called pegs. And then they'll put all this dust on top of it. Gikonyati mango the pegs. Whatever this, what are this, clay and sand, whatever, not to enter inside. And of course, put off the fire. Okay, so we put all this. What are they? The leftovers of manure. Here we have banana leaves. We have the cut-offs of the fences. Yeah, just to make sure we are keeping the sand that is going to be on top, the clay out of the wood, not to put off the fire, because the fire needs to be on for the charcoal to be ready. It says around 3 days. If the fire is good, there's no problem. It will take around 3 days. So this one is sebo. Oh, now this is the last process. Seb already closed it up, and now you can just see those smoke coming out. Before, when I used to see this, I used to think like the place is so cold, the smoke is coming out, or there's an is it called eruption almost going to take place. Silly me. It's charcoal being made. Charcoal, people, charcoal. Aye. the charcoal is doing better now. Yesterday we had a really big rain, and apparently it opened and it lit the wrong way, so they had to I don't know how they say it, make it better today. So now it is moving on well.
Lucky, lucky.
Yeah, so I love to press them, and one day I'll frame them nicely. So that's what I do. This is my favorite spot actually, when I read my Bible, and you never miss to find my Bible and fresh flowers on my little table. Okay, so I just remembered a story and I wanted to share it. When I was around 18, I had a housemate in Mombasa. I was living somewhere called Water. This place was not watery or anything. It's housing that were actually meant for water people to stay in. But I think most of them had homes somewhere, so they would. Is it called subletting? Yeah, like getting some other people to stay in so they can use the money for as little resources for themselves. Now I had this roommate who was like in her 30s, and she was dating this man who was married. I don't know this man's name, so I will call him Tom. Tom. Now, what happened with Tom? Tom used to drive a bicycle, those big local bicycle. I call it local not because it's a bad bicycle, no, but it's not something fancy like a mountain bicycle or a baby bicycle, no. It's just the normal bicycle when you go to the village, or you see people cycling around from point A to point B. And I think that was to enable him to move to work and come back easier without using money. Now, something about this man, he was a little bit older than Nyakisumo, which I thought Nyakisumo was old. But then again, I was around 18. I mean, that is young. You see most of people old at that age. um, and he had a wife. And by the story I'd had, the little story, Tom was not really much of an achiever because the wife had a kibanda from Boga. That is a small shop where she sells things like kitungu, tomato. She wakes up like really early in the morning, and they would stay in a one-roomed house. We call them Swahili houses, and yet he could afford to have an marital affair. So for me, I used to think of him as an underachiever. And one day, something happened that I can never forget. I always remember this story, and for some reason, I even share it with my girls. Um, One day, for whatever reason, Nyakisumo decided that she didn't want anything to do with this relationship anymore. And when she told Tom about it, Tom was not happy. He came. He was very angry. He didn't enter in the house because where we were staying, there was a veranda. The veranda was a big one with poles. And we had some seats out there, so we would sit there. And in the compound, we had some banana trees. It was a bit green. So he came and stood near the entrance where there's banana trees, and he told Nyakisumo, give me my things that I gave you before. And I was really interested because I was like, what did he give her, you know? And she asked the same question out loud. I was thinking, but she asked out loud. And the dude said, I bought you some rubber shoes. Those rubber shoes were like 50 shillings by that time. I don't think they were even 100, because those rubber shoes right now you can get them for around 100 or 200 shillings, depending where you actually buying them. Now I think 100 shillings in dollar could be like $1, maybe, depending on the currency right now. I don't know. Hi, Nyakisumo came with the shoes and gave it to him, and then he said, "You still have my dish." And then, which dish? I brought you something in it, and the spoon. Oh my God, I was shocked. And Nyakisuma was so pissed off. She went in and brought pado. For those who understand Luo, pado is a small plastic plate, you know, a side plate, a side dish, the flat small side dish. But now it is plastic. I think by that time that could have been like, I don't know, even 2 bob, because by that time shillings were really working well. And a spoon, a very light spoon. So she came, she was so sick of it, she threw it down. That dude bent down and picked those things up and left on his bicycle, cussing, you know, telling her, let me not find you out there, blah, 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 blah. And I was like shocked. And that is the time I told myself, I'm never dating a poor man. Like, I'm not really. But this is the thing. When I look at this story right now, I see the poverty not only on economical status, but mind. That was poverty of mind, of thinking, of exposure, of, I don't know what to say. Y'all, I don't know what to say, but that is an incident that I never ever forget. I don't know if you've ever had such experience. And then again, I came to meet people who dated someone who bought the whole world for them, and they appreciated, and some didn't even appreciate. And I told myself, life sometimes can be cruel to others and can be really merciful to others, or give favor to others. I don't know how to put it. But that was my story for today. I hope you learned something about it, because it is something that has always stuck to my mind. Okay? Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. I'm Tina Lang. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you love what I have vlogged today, give me a thumbs up to just enable the channel to go a bit further. And if you're new, karibuni sana. And for my old fam, thank you for sticking, and let's continue the journey together. So today we are having chapatis for lunch. Yeah, doing the most important mixing. Then we'll use a jiko, and for the, how do you call this, green grams, we'll use kendo, the 3 stones. I love the 3 stones when I don't have gas, since I'm at home and we have lots of trees, dried trees. I use the 3 stones, and my jiko is usually for the wet days, and when the gas is in, heaven. Ah, chapatis are sweet, but it's messy business. You must get dirty kidogo. Yep.